What up, YouTube family? I'm glad you guys came back. I just wanted to stop you guys before we started the video to tell you thank you. Thank you so much. You guys showed up and showed out and gave me so much support on my last video. I did not have any idea it was going to go the way it went, so I appreciate it. Most people don't know how hard it is to be in this YouTube thing and trying to make it work. Just to put it into perspective, there is 500 hours worth of content uploaded onto the YouTube platform every single minute. So that means you guys could be watching so many other things, but you guys decided to stop by and give my channel a chance. And for that, I appreciate you. And for that, I am so thankful and blessed. So enough with the mushy stuff. Let's go make some magic happen. What up, YouTube? It's me, the one and only Chef Boy RG. And today I'm going to be making cookies and cream cheesecake. Now, some of the ingredients are patent pending, so I can't give you all of them. But what I'm going to do is give you the basic cheesecake recipe that's given on most of the boxes, and then I'll show you where the magic happens. Let's go. So, just like most recipes, you're going to need your eggs, sugar, vanilla extract, butter, of course, any cream cheese you want. It doesn't matter if it's generic, but we're going to use the cream of the crop. But today we're using premium Philadelphia cream cheese. Shout out to Meek Mills and Will Smith. And of course, your Oreos. Gotta have your Oreos. All right, first step, we're gonna take our Oreos, twist, and it doesn't matter if they break. That's perfectly fine. You're gonna need 2 containers. What we're gonna do is scrape off with the flat. If you have a serrated edge knife, that's fine. Just use the flat edge. And what we're gonna do is scrape as much of that icing off. Throw your cookie over to the clean bowl. Want to try to preserve some for the garnish at the end, but if they break, like I said, you're okay. Next up, we're going to put our Oreos into the food processor. Line those up. This is what we're going to be using for the crust. Now we're going to get ready to make our crust. So we're going to take about half a stick of this butter, pop it in the microwave, melt it, and come right back. All right, we got our butter, our melted butter. Pour it into a bowl. And our cookie crumbs. 2 teaspoons of sugar. We're going to mix that up real nice. If you need a little bit more butter, if it's a little too dry, go ahead and make some more butter and put it in there. It's not going to hurt anything. All right, now we're going to get our cheesecake ramp, or I guess you call this a cheesecake rampkin or a cheesecake pan. And we're going to get ready to put the crust inside the pan. What I like to do is get a piece of parchment paper, cut it out to the size of the pan I'm using, and put that down first. Trust me, it'll be a lot easier to get this out once you pull it off or you freeze it or whatever, because sometimes the crust has a tendency of sticking to that metal piece even though it's non-stick. And parchment paper, not wax paper, parchment paper. Wax paper is a no-no. So I'm gonna put some in. This is way more than what I need because I usually like to freeze some for later. And we want to press that in. Good and firm, good and flat. More. What you want to do is you want to push and spread it. You want to push and spread that so that it comes up to the side of the pan. And I say that's good. Next stop is to the cream cheese. First thing you want to do is take the cream cheese out of these paper wrappers. And what I like to do is get a pot of warm water, turn the stove on low, and what we're going to do is heat this cheese up We're heating the cheese up because when we get ready to mix it, you want it to be pliable, you want it to be smooth. It'll be twice as hard to mix this cheese when it's cold, so we want to warm it a little bit. Don't heat it up too hot, just warm. So the cheese should be warm enough. Now we're going to take it out of the water, dump it into a pot or a mixing bowl. We're going to add our cup of sugar, teaspoon of vanilla. We're not going to put the eggs in yet. We want to get this nice and blended up before we put the eggs in. It'll make it a lot easier. You'll see in just a second. Lightly beat them. Slowly mix these in. Hand mix the rest of the way. Once you get in, we want to pour some of our mix in a separate container. Then we're going to pour some of our roughly chopped Oreo cookies into the batter. If you hadn't seen a better cheesecake, let me know if you've seen a better looking cheesecake than this. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about this. Now you remember that leftover icing from the beginning? Just throw a few chunks in there. Just sporadically throw a few chunks. And kind of push them down into the batter. Now we're at the part where we're getting ready to bake the cheesecake. Being that I am a cheesecake connoisseur and a self-proclaimed cheesecake master, I have studied all the different ways you bake cheesecakes. I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of them too. But let's be honest, Thanksgiving is a couple of days away, and we ain't got time to sit here and let a cheesecake bake for 3-4 hours. We gotta put stuff in, we gotta get food cooked, and we gotta get it done fast. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in a muffin pan full of cold water. Make sure you put it on the bottom rack. Then put your cheesecake in and cover with a lid for about half an hour. What that water is going to do is it's going to keep it moist while it's cooking. That way, trap moisture in and better keep the cheesecake from cracking. You want to bake at 325 for 30 minutes, uncover, and then bake for the rest of the way uncovered. Make sure you check periodically to make sure that it isn't burning or done, because it might just take 45 minutes. It might not take the full 60 minutes. It just depends on your oven. Alright, got the cheesecake out. As soon as it comes out, we want to take our cake spatula and separate it from the sides of the cheesecake pan. Because if you do not, when the cheesecake cools, it'll get stuck to the sides of the pan. It'll end up contracting and then cracking more in the middle. These cracks are okay, they're just superficial, but you still want to loosen that around the sides. That way when it contracts, it won't stretch and pull these even more. Then we'll cover with a paper towel. We'll leave that on the top of the oven for a few hours till it cools. Then we'll put it into the refrigerator or the freezer. Now that our cheesecake is set and out of the freezer, we're going to remove it, and then we're going to go to the next step. Some kind of paper, doesn't matter what kind. Just keep your hand clean. This is why I said what I said about the parchment paper. Check this out. Now you're gonna notice a lot of little micro cracks on the surface of your cheesecake. This is fine. This is gonna happen almost every time you put some kind of extra ingredient inside of your cheesecake. It's no big deal because most of the time when you do this, you always plan on putting some kind of top dressing on it. 3 things you can do. You can either make some homemade icing, which consists of powdered sugar and heavy whipping cream, or we can put our garnish directly on top, filling the cracks. Or, remember that extra icing from earlier? We're gonna use that. We got that icing soft. We're just gonna spread a little bit on the surface. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Just mainly we're gonna fill up those cracks. Once we get that warm icing set on top of the cheesecake, now it's time for our garnishment. We're gonna just use those Oreo cookies that we saved from before. We're gonna place them on top because they are a little brittle. You might find yourself a little extra space. That's all right because we improvise. We just spread them out a little bit. And you're good. We're gonna take some of our cookie crumbs and spread all over. Don't worry about making a mess. You're gonna make a mess. It's fine. It's all right. Make a mess. I always said, if you're not making a mess, you're not cooking. That's what I got kids for. They'll clean it up. That is it. That is it. It's not simple. We're done. We're gonna put this in the refrigerator and pick it up when we're ready to eat. Look at this. This is what Chef Boyardee calls perfection. You don't got to go out to the store and spend $40 on a cake when you got this right here. Sometimes I even shock myself. That is it, everybody. I appreciate you for stopping by today to watch me do this cheesecake. I hope you guys try it out. If you like cookies and cream, you're gonna love it. Appreciate everyone out there for stopping by and taking the time out to watch me and for the support. I thank you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Do the same for this video if you liked it. If you found this information helpful, please hit that like button. Share this video to as many people you know as you can, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell so you won't miss any of this content. And I know you're wondering, when am I ever going to eat this stuff on camera? I am. We plan on making a mukbang video for Thanksgiving, and then I'm gonna cut into all these bad boys and then show you how good it looks from the inside out. So don't miss that tomorrow. And remember, there's not a better place to be than cooking with Chef Boyardee.